So let's start by talking about exactly what jQuery is. jQuery is a JavaScript library. It's open source, it's completely free, so anyone can use it. There's no charge for it at all. It is by far the most popular JavaScript library out there. So 1 in every 4 websites is using jQuery. You probably might be asking yourself, what does a JavaScript library do? What does a JavaScript library mean? Well, what a JavaScript library attempts to do is resolve some issues that you would normally have when writing JavaScript code. So one of the biggest ones is browser support. So each web browser behaves a little bit differently. Classic example is Internet Explorer. It has these little weird quirks, not only with HTML and CSS, but also with JavaScript. So one of the things that jQuery and all JavaScript libraries do is they try to handle all those different browser idiosyncrasies. As a designer, as a developer, you don't have to worry about knowing all the little hacks for IE in JavaScript. jQuery is going to take care of that for you. So when you call a jQuery library such as fade in or fade out, you don't care. You don't need to know how that works behind the scenes in the browser. All you need to know is that when you call fade in, it's going to work across Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, all the major browsers. It's going to work and behave the same way. Some other things that jQuery does is it can help you retrieve and modify page content. So we're going to be seeing that a little later on in the class, where you target specific page elements, retrieve them, and then modify their content and their behavior. Another thing that jQuery helps you with is with events. So events could be keyboard events. So like when you press a key, you can have something happen on your web page. Events could also be mouse. So when you move the mouse over a certain div tag in your page, you want something to happen like a rollover, you can do that. Events also include page events, so like when the page loads, form events, so when you submit a button, when you click on a button, you want some special code to run. You can do that through the jQuery events. And then another area that jQuery helps you with is through effects and animations. So it has a pretty decent effect and animation library to choose from. And like I mentioned, these effects are all cross-browser supported, so they're pretty much going to work the same no matter what browser you're using. jQuery also allows you to work with multiple page elements at once. You can run certain effects or code on multiple elements at one time instead of having to code things separately, and we'll talk about this later on in the class. And you can also perform multiple operations on multiple page elements, which jQuery refers to as chaining. So we'll be going over all these things. One of the nice things about jQuery, if you have experience as a web designer and you know CSS and HTML, is it uses a lot of your existing CSS knowledge. So when you're trying to select page elements, you can use the same sort of CSS selectors that you would use in jQuery. So you don't have to go and relearn a whole new system of thinking. jQuery kind of adapts to web designers and says, hey, you know CSS, so you're going to easily be able to migrate to jQuery and get started. jQuery, another huge advantage of it, or huge benefit, is really its plugins. There's a ton of jQuery developers out there that have written plugins to do specific things. So if you're trying to figure out how to do something like form validation, well, it might not be built in the jQuery, but you can go out and find a form validation plugin which you can easily add to your page, and within a couple steps you have form validation. There's plugins for slideshows, for photo galleries, just about anything you can think of, someone has a plugin for it. And if there isn't a plugin out there for it, jQuery is extensible, so anyone can write a plugin with some JavaScript knowledge. jQuery has a huge development community, so there's a lot of resources out on the web for questions you might have about jQuery. Sites like stackoverflow.com, jQuery.com has a good developer section, API section. So there's just a lot of help out there for when you run into problems or when you have a question about something. As I mentioned, browser support, jQuery supports all browsers, all major browsers, all the way from Internet Explorer 6 and up. This chart shows two different versions of jQuery. It has a 1.x and a 2.x. We'll discuss that. But basically, the thing to take away from this slide is that jQuery supports all the major browsers, even extremely old ones. So all the way back from the first versions of Chrome and Firefox to the latest versions today. one of the things I want everyone to know is that if you've never had experience with JavaScript before libraries such as jQuery came around, JavaScript was very difficult. It was pretty much a pain to code almost even the simplest thing. And jQuery takes that pain away, and it just really makes writing JavaScript code fun. And adding enhancements to your page are just so much easier now with jQuery. And the tagline for jQuery is write less and do more, and that's exactly what jQuery does. With very little code, you can do a lot of different things on your websites. In the next section, we're going to be talking about how to add jQuery to your page, and we'll start writing some jQuery code.